For 100 years, the Galactic Council hadn't heard a word from Earth. Once, humanity had been everywhere, trading, helping, building peace. Their ships filled the skyways, and their diplomats sat at every major table in the galaxy. But then they vanished. Slowly at first, quietly, one system at a time. Until there was nothing. At the latest council session, tension filled the air. Ambassador Varn of the Yulari race stood and spoke in a loud, mocking voice. The humans are done. Soft creatures, hiding in silence. I say we no longer wait for their voice. They had their time. They are not warriors. The chamber echoed with scattered laughter, especially from younger races who had never faced humans in battle. Only a few older ambassadors remained silent, eyes narrowed, remembering what Earth once was. Ambassador Fallon of the Doruan leaned in toward his assistant. They mocked the silence, he whispered, but I fear the quiet more than I ever feared. Their fleets. Back on the edge of known space, in the abandoned sector of Cora 7, an old human colony blinked to life on the scanners. A silent distress signal was picked up, brief and broken, filled with static and a single word: help. The message arrived at the council the next day. Many ignored it, but a few wanted to act. Varn grinned. Let us handle it, he said. If Earth is weak, then let us prove it. He sent a small strike force to the colony. Soldiers from different species, armored and arrogant, expecting no resistance. They arrived within hours, landed, and moved through the silent streets of this ruined human city. No shots. No people. No sound. Lieutenant Kova, a young alien officer, stepped through a ruined school. Are they all dead? He asked his captain. I think they ran. Cowards, the captain said, kicking over a chair. But deep inside one of the buildings, something watched them. One soldier disappeared during patrol. Then another. Then communications dropped. A scream echoed through the buildings, but when the team arrived, there was only a burned mark on the wall and a single human word etched into the floor. Pushed. Suddenly, the strike team's ship exploded. Trapped. Council. Command lost all contact with the soldiers. A week later, a single pod was found drifting in deep space, containing one survivor. His body was broken, eyes wide in fear, and he kept repeating one phrase before dying. They're not the same. Something changed. News spread quickly. Other colonies reported strange sightings, fast-moving ships with no known signature, ghostly human figures watching from the shadows of abandoned stations. On the trading station of Aros 9, a merchant swore he saw a Terran vessel pass silently through the system. It didn't answer hails, he said, but it didn't need to. I felt it watching us. Back at the council, debate turned to panic. They're hiding something, Thalen said. They haven't spoken for years, but they're not gone. We may have made a mistake. Varn still laughed. You fear shadows. I say we go to Earth itself. Let's see what's left of the great death world. But another ambassador, silent one from the Crossier species, finally spoke. His voice was cold. You do not understand what happens when humans truly break. They do not scream. They do not beg. They remember. They build. And when they return to end. Those words hung heavy in the air. Krell, a junior officer from the neutral Ilari race, stood outside the chamber, listening carefully. He had no power yet, no authority. But something inside him whispered, get ready. Far away, in a system, with no name, a human fleet powered up in complete silence. No lights. No beacons. Just warships, quiet as death, waiting for the order. The council voted. Humanity's silence would end now by force. Ambassador Varn got what he wanted. A fleet of 5 warships from different species was formed and sent to Sol System. Their mission: investigate Earth, confirm its weakness, and return with proof of human failure. At the head of this mission was Commander Eltox, proud and confident, from the steel-skinned Grokken. His ship, the Hammer of Dawn, led the others through warp space like a spear, through fabric. As they neared the Sol system, strange things began to happen. First, their long-range scanners went dark. Next, the warp corridor they traveled through began to flicker. Lights dimmed. Gravity shifted for seconds at a time. One pilot's blood boiled in his veins. He died instantly. They exited warp near Jupiter. But it was wrong. The planet's moons were missing. Not destroyed missing. Only black space remained where Europa and Ganymede once orbited. "Where is Earth?" one navigator asked, voice shaking. Eltox stared at the silent system. Earth's location showed. Nothing. No planet. No signal. No heat. It was as if someone had erased it. "Impossible," he whispered. Then came a signal. Not from Earth, but from nearby space. A single word: observe. Before anyone could respond, all 5 ships lost power for 7 seconds. No lights, no systems, nothing but darkness and fear. When systems returned, a new object floated before them. A ship, but it wasn't like anything they'd ever seen. It had no name, no ID, and no visible weapons. Its surface looked like moving metal alive. It made no sound. It didn't move. It just hovered. Then it spoke, but not in words. Each crew member felt the message inside their minds, as if their very thoughts were being rewritten. "You crossed the line. Now you see us. This is the last time." Panic gripped the fleet. Some tried to retreat. Others charged weapons, but it was too late. The silent human vessel pulsed once. Light exploded outward in every direction, but made no sound. All 5 warships were hit at once. No debris. No flame. Just silence. On a nearby moon's surface, Krell, the Ilari officer, who had secretly followed the fleet on a stealth vessel, watched everything. He sat alone in his hidden scout ship, recording it all. He hadn't joined the attack. He'd only come to witness. And now he shook with fear. His systems registered the deaths of over 3,000 soldiers in less than 5 seconds. He looked again toward the spot where Earth was supposed to be. Now it was their visible blue and beautiful. It had returned, but only after the enemy was gone. Why hide? He whispered aloud. The answer came, again in his mind. "Because we had to see if you would choose peace. You chose fire. Now we remember everything." Tears ran down Krell's cheeks. He sent a report back to the council, but didn't wait for orders. He jumped his ship into deep space, hoping to disappear before humanity decided to erase him. 2. On Earth, deep beneath the surface, in a chamber older than most stars, a woman stepped forward. She wore no uniform, only scars. "Begin Phase 2, she said softly. "Let them know what it means when humans break." 3 weeks after the Sol System incident, whispers flooded the galaxy. No official records survived of what happened near Earth. No wreckage, no survivors. Only one unverified transmission reached the council, sent by a junior officer named Krell, who vanished shortly after. But rumors spread faster than truth. Merchants told stories of ships spotted in uncharted regions, silent vessels with dark hulls and no lights. They moved with impossible speed, left no trace, and responded to no hails. At first, most laughed. Then, those same merchants stopped returning. On the mining moon of Tharos 9, a deep space cargo vessel docked late in the cycle. The crew staggered. Out alive, but terrified. "They followed us," the pilot said, voice broken. "We tried to lose them. They never fired. Just watched. We ran until the engines gave out." "What did you see?" a local asked. The pilot only said one word: eyes. Back at the Galactic Council, meetings grew tense. No species wanted to admit fear, but security footage leaked of elite patrol ships being found empty, perfectly intact, but no trace of their crews. A senator from the runaway spoke in panic. These are not the same humans we knew. Something inside them changed. Others refused to believe. They can't strike without proof, Varn growled. This is trickery. They are trying to control us with fear. But deep down, even he couldn't deny the pattern. Entire listening. Posts had gone dark. Sensor buoys picked up strange distortions in space, always just beyond the edge of vision like ghosts, drifting across the void. In the outer colonies, civilians started fleeing. Abandoned towns filled the space lanes. One message, found on a deserted station wall, scrawled in haste, read, "We hurt them. Now they don't scream. They only watch." Across the stars, images began circulating of a new human ship, its design unlike anything known before. It had no engines, no visible structure, just shifting black mass, glowing with faint red lines like cracks in cooling lava. People began calling it the Breaker. It never attacked first, but every time a system fired upon it, they were erased. No warning, no explanation. One such incident was recorded from afar. A space station launched 3 missiles at an approaching unknown. They exploded mid-space, doing nothing. 30 seconds later, the station's outer hull folded inward as if crushed by gravity itself, and vanished. No explosion, no light, just silence. And then came something new. The messages, not official ones, not spoken or written. People began hearing voices in their sleep. Different languages, different species, but the same feeling. We gave peace. You answered with fire. You broke what could not be repaired. Now we walk alone. Entire worlds began begging the Council for protection. But there were no weapons. That worked. No defenses that stood. Every move they made somehow, the humans already knew. Even the ancient races, the ones who had once taught humans the path to the stars, grew silent. The Trell, a race of galaxy builders, closed their borders. For the first time in 20,000 years, their last transmission said, "Let Earth burn alone. We will not stand in its path again." In a quiet, dark chamber of an abandoned listening station, one alien girl, just 12 years old, picked up a forgotten human book. She didn't understand the words, but on the last page was a drawing of Earth, cracked down the center, but with a small flame rising from it. She whispered to herself, "Maybe they didn't break. Maybe they just woke up." Far beyond, in a black ship drifting near the edge of the galaxy, a human figure sat alone. No helmet, no armor, just tired. Eyes and a quiet voice. They pushed us. And now, he looked at the galaxy map. We push back. Asterisk Krell drifted in the black, far beyond the core worlds. His stealth scout ship had no weapons, no backup, and no home anymore. Since the day he witnessed the destruction of the 5-ship fleet near Earth, he'd stayed hidden. But curiosity was a sickness. He returned, not to Earth, but to one of the old Terran science outposts hidden inside a hollow asteroid near the Vega drift line. Abandoned decades ago, it was thought to be non-operational. But it wasn't dead. As his ship approached, the asteroid opened like a blooming metal flower. No weapons fired, no warnings came, just a quiet signal. "Welcome, observer." Krell landed. Inside, the facility was clean. Lights pulsed softly. Machines still worked, but not like any technology he'd seen. They seemed aware, watching him, tracking his every breath. In the center of the complex was a massive chamber filled with glass displays showing maps of the galaxy. Dozens of species were marked in red, some blinking, some crossed out. In the middle of it all, Earth glowed white, and around it, Small black icons, each one marked Shadow Division Active. Krell stepped closer to a console. Without touching anything, the screen lit up. Initiating archive playback. Year 2731. Operation Quiet Rain. A hologram flickered to life. A human woman appeared. Not a soldier, not a leader. She wore a plain jacket, eyes calm, voice steady. If you're seeing this, then the universe forgot who we are. That's good. Let them forget. Let them laugh. Let them push. Because one day, they will cross the line. And when they do, this program wakes up. She looked directly at Krell, as if through time. We don't break like glass. We bend like steel. And when steel breaks, it becomes a blade. The hologram ended. Krell staggered back. The walls began shifting smooth metal, opening to reveal rows of dark suits. Human exoframes. But these weren't for war. These were for extinction-level missions, marked with code names like Phantom Zero, Storm Eater, and God's Last Whisper. Suddenly, a voice spoke not out loud, but inside his mind. You saw them push. Now you will see us move. Back at the Galactic Council, confusion had become chaos. Half the outer colonies were evacuating. Pirates, governments, and rogue fleets had all tried to engage the shadow ships rumored to be Terran non-returned. Ambassador Varn stood in the council chamber, pale and sweating. He hadn't spoken in days. Not since he'd seen a video sent directly to his quarters out. It showed a Terran operative standing in the ruins of his homeworld's secret moon base, the one he thought was hidden. The man held nothing. He just looked into the camera. You took our kindness. You built your empire on our silence. But the silence was never weakness. It was the calm before your storm. The message ended with the sound of waves, Earth's oceans, lapping softly on a distant shore. Now, even the boldest voices were quiet. And still, Earth had not declared war. Still, no official words had come. They didn't need to. From Krell's ship, as he escaped the Vega facility, one final data burst reached him, a recording labeled Phase 3, Dawnfall. Its description said only, "This is not conquest. This is balance, and the galaxy must feel what it made us become." Krell knew now. Earth was not hiding, that it was watching, preparing, letting the shadows grow, and soon they would step into the light. Asterisk. The breaker returned, this time not alone. Across the galaxy, in 13 systems at once, they appeared ships with no names, no call signs, and no warnings. Some looked like moving black mountains. Others shimmered like living glass. All of them bore the same message pulsing through the airwaves. We do not want war, but we will bring the end. No one fired at first. No one dared, but feared as strange things. In the Calrex system, a small defense fleet panicked and proud launched the first missile. It never reached its target. The breaker ship reacted instantly. It didn't shoot. It simply shifted, as if space itself folded around it. The missile vanished mid-air. Then came the response. The entire fleet disintegrated into fine dust in less than 4 seconds. No heat signature. No shockwave. Just silence. The same happened in every system that resisted. Mining colonies turned to ash. Command centers blinked off the grid. Every target was military. No civilians. No planet was destroyed, but every weapon pointed at Earth, even in storage, was gone. In the deep blackness beyond known maps, Earth's true fleet was revealed. Not dozens. Not hundreds. Thousands. They didn't speak. They didn't celebrate. They moved like ghosts. Coordinated, precise, EMOTIONOLESS. At the council, panic turned to despair. Why didn't we see this? One ambassador cried. Another whispered. They were building this for decades. Behind the silence. In one hidden chamber on Earth, the scarred woman from the earlier message stood in front of a giant glass screen. Galaxies blinked red and green on the display. A voice behind her spoke. A young man, barely 20. They're retreating now. She nodded. They always do once they see the mirror. The mirror? She turned to him. They thought we were like them. That when we break, we die. But we're different. When we break, we become what they fear. Meanwhile, on the planet Hestron 5, an alien leader known for mocking humans stood frozen in his tower dot above him. 5 human warships hovered. They didn't fire. They didn't move. They just watched dot every camera, every broadcast, every screen on the planet turned on at once. A single human face appeared. Calm, unemotional, familiar. You laughed when we fell silent. You rejoiced when we lost our voice. But now, you understand. The screen flickered dot, then black dot, no attack came. Just fear. Galactic governments began broadcasting surrender messages. Others offered alliances, even apologies. But Earth sent back the same simple response. This is not revenge. This is memory. And now, you will carry it too. Entire species began rewriting their history books. School children were now taught. Never test a silent human. Never push Earth. And far away, in a system untouched, Krell sat alone in his scout ship, watching the stars. He had lived, but not escaped. Every night, he dreamed of Earth's gaze deep, patient, endless. And he knew the galaxy would never be the same again, because humanity had broken. And what came out of that break was no longer just human. 1 year later, the galaxy was quiet, not because of peace talks, not because of alliances, but because fear had settled into every species' bones. The Galactic Council still existed, but Earth no longer sent delegates. Their seat remained empty and untouched. No one dared sit in it. A single message hovered above the chair in holographic text. We listened. We helped. You broke us. Now we watch. Every race knew what it meant. No one argued when Earth claimed disputed systems near its old colonies. No one interfered when human fleets passed through sovereign space without permission. And when a pirate faction tried attacking a refugee convoy under Terran protection, they simply vanished. Not destroyed. Erased. No trace. No signal. Not even dust. Whispers told of a hidden Earth protocol. Black silence. A code that meant complete memory removal. As if something or someone had never existed. Even the great empire of Varn, once proud and loud in the council, fell. Its central city now stood abandoned. Not ruined, just empty. Lights still flickered. Machines still ran. But no people. No sounds. As if everyone had simply stepped away for a moment and never returned. Single word had been painted across their palace wall in human script. Enough. Krell, the lone alien who had witnessed Earth's quiet return, now lived on a distant moon, self-exiled, surrounded by old books and silence. He had written a journal, a warning, a memory, not to accuse, but to explain. We didn't understand. We thought Earth's strength was in their weapons, their ships, their numbers. We were wrong. Earth's strength was always in their restraint. And when we shattered it, we didn't just wake a beast. We ended an age. Back on Earth, under the silver sky, the woman in the plain jacket walked a quiet path through a garden. Flowers bloomed where factories once stood. Children laughed where bunkers used to hide. She sat on a bench beside a young boy, watching the wind carry leaves across the grass. Will they come back? He asked. Who? The others, the aliens. She smiled gently. They're still out there. But no, they won't come back like before. Why? Because now they remember. She pointed to the sky. not just what we did, but what we are. High above, Earth's warships remained in orbit silent, still watching. They didn't move unless called. They didn't fire unless pushed. But everyone knew, if Earth's ships moved again, it would be for the last time. Asterisk.